Okay, looks like enough people. So first of all, before I start, I want to say I have my first article for Freedomists out and I'm going to link it below. So after this live stream, please go read it. If you like it, comment on it. It's about how the liberal ideological domination of children's books and children's literature must end. So now that that's out of the way, tonight I want to talk to you about something that's a really big issue for us in terms of trying to win back the House in 2020. We lost, I believe, 41 seats in 2018 in the midterms. And there were a lot of reasons for that: messaging, not having as many great candidates as we should. But one other problem we had was that conservative media, Fox, alternative conservative media, did not have on people who were trying to flip or continue holding on to congressional seats who were Republicans. Instead, there was a lot of focus, and there is now, on commentators that were running for Congress, political commentators, people who were running for Congress in districts like Nancy Pelosi, who I believe won her district by 70 points last time. There was not an effort to have people who were trying to hold on to Republican seats or flip seats where they actually could there was not an effort to give them exposure. And I want to give you an example of this. We all know about the woman running against AOC. We know her name, we know her positions, we know what she's trying to do. But what we didn't know about in 2018 was, for instance, the race in New York 11, where Max Rose, a Democrat, took away that seat from Daniel Donovan, and it was 46 to 53. You didn't have Daniel Donovan on conservative media. You had Max Rose everywhere throughout the liberal media. You had him on news stations, podcasts, but you didn't have Daniel Donovan on. And that was because political commentators running for Congress then, and I use commentator really as a blanket term to cover people who are like professionally running for seats they're not going to win. You had them on constantly. And what that caused was it caused them to fundraise. It caused them to get the energy of the base of the Republican Party, and not people like Daniel Donovan, who's a Republican in New York, whose seat we really needed to hold on to. Another example of this is Abigail Spanberg, who flipped the seat away from Brad, who won his seat a couple years ago. You didn't have him on in conservative media, so there was no energy in trying to keep his seat. And now there's a Democrat in that seat by only a few points. We have this new thing in the conservative world where political commentators who want to maintain relevancy and get a boost in name brand recognition are running for Congress. And I'm really tired of it. And I know that's why they're doing it, because when I entered politics, one of the things that was suggested to me by several big deal conservatives was run for something, run for a congressional seat that you're sure you're not going to win, so you can get verified on Twitter and Instagram and everywhere, and you can fundraise. That was one of the things that was suggested to me. So now we have these political conservative commentators running for office and running for Congress and raising all this money, but also we have them getting all this momentum in the conservative world, getting retweets, getting their articles shared, where when you have real Republicans who are trying to flip seats like Eric Brakey in Maine's 2nd Congressional District, not having that boost in the conservative world because their name brand recognition isn't as high in the conservative media world. And I want to talk about New York 11 for a second. That district was held by a Republican for a long time. But now we are in a situation where in 2020 we have to flip that again. And the woman running for it, Nicole Malliotakis, some of you might know her, she ran for mayor of New York, is not going to get the same amount of conservative energy in media, in alternative conservative media, in fundraising and retweeting her things, because you have people permanently running for Congress in Nancy Pelosi's district. So it's in terms of where resources are going that I have an issue with. And these political commentators, the main thing that they cost us when they run for Congress in seats, I'm not talking about people who are running in seats for 10 points or 13 points, but seats where you're 70 points away, 80 points. AOC's district, I believe that was 80 points. People who run for Congress in those slots, what they do is they take away resources and media coverage from people who are trying to actually flip seats that are winnable, like Eric Brakey in Maine's 2nd Congressional District. You're not going to see him on mainstream conservative media as much. You're not going to see him on alternative conservative media. And alternative conservative media should be where we're picking up the slack for Fox. It should be where we're highlighting candidates who need a boost, who are trying to fill these seats. But it's not happening because you're having these professional political commentators use this as a way to gain more traction and as a way really to boost their name brand recognition and in several cases just get verified. The amount of political capital in that little blue check mark across all platforms is huge. It's been suggested to me many times that I just run for something and then I would be able to get that. That's what's happening here. These political commentators represent a big hurdle for us in trying to retake the House in 2020 because they take away resources and conservative media coverage and boosting that should be going to real candidates like Nicole Malliotakis, and instead they're getting it because they know more people. And it really is like a new level of grifting establishment. And I think it has to stop because we lost 41 seats last time and we didn't need to. But we lost them a lot of times because conservative media, conservatives, they were donating to these people and helping these people who aren't going to win. So I know that a lot of people are going to be upset about this live stream, but when I look at the data, when I see people running and fundraising to try to flip seats where they're 70 points in the hole for the Republicans last time, that to me, that's not running for Congress, that's running a scam. And I just don't think it's appropriate when, as a 19-year-old, I'm in a situation where I'm watching many of my peers vote for socialists and support socialists, and the Republican conservative world is boosting these people who are running like in AOC's district who are not going to win, and not boosting people like Nicole Malliotakis or people running against Abigail Spanberger. It's just an issue and it has to stop. So if you're supporting a political commentator that's running for office, make sure that it's at least in a district that's winnable. 10 points, 13 should really be your cap. After that, I really get suspicious. Make sure it's somebody who actually has a chance and it's not somebody who's just trying to boost their name brand recognition, because that's just selfish. Thank you, everyone, and please like and share this, and don't forget to read my article on freedomists. I'm going to link it below.